educational systems, the practice of the teacher in front of the group is an essential component to improve and maintain education quality. Although there are other material, economic, and human factors that use the quality, equity, and relevance of education, as Solana says, this is way that we want to talk about the Amara Berri educational model, which is based on the learning of the stimulation of daily life, centered on two axes, globalized and open system on the individual process. The first of them aims to promote the development of processes of each student without trying to divide them and is done in the traditional system. The second is based on the use of play and the imitation of an adult world as the structure of the sessions. In the place of subjects, they use great vital activities, where all the subjects are interrelated around a set of tasks that are closer and more meaningful for students. Some of these activities are the radio, theater, press, talks, puppets, and neighborhood. The system is based on 6 principles that guide the work in the center. Individualization, each person works at their own level and peace from their capacities. Socialization, where are and they act as social beings. Activity as mental, that the children make decisions and are the engine of the learning system. Creativity, freedom, globalization, and normalization.
To understand this educational system, it is necessary to identify the characteristics of the Amara Berri model. Here are the main characteristics of the model. The organization structure is a key methodological intervention strategy. The game is in the sense of the context because it responds to the interests of the students. All the activities have a purpose in themselves. Though the radio, the press, televisions, exhibitions, and shows that take place in the center. Several teachers work with each group of students. The working method is always present. The media library is the basic source of information for the work of the departments. Constructive criticism is considered a factor of advancement. Intentionally, two linguistic models coexist, cycle programs are made. The differences is considered as a quality and not as a discriminating factor. The organization of the students' body with its assemblies and services interrelates the students of all age. The management of the project involves all the teaching staff. The teaching staff work as a team and considers their meetings as an area of training. Meetings with families are also conceived as a means and scope of training. Complementary activities, cultural, sports, transportation activities are considered educational intervention framework. Taking into account the characteristics and other theory about the educational model Amara Berri, we decided to create an educational institution called School Amara Berri, which was founded in 2014 by Lucia Martinez and Julieta Martinez, with the purpose of contributing to the training of Colombian children and youth with a stamp of responsibility and honesty. Likewise, this methodology aims to promote the development processes of each student without training to divide them as it done in the traditional system. By definition and by conviction, it is a Colombian private mixed and secular school which adopt a specific educational model, Amara Berri.
At the moment, we have a large staff within our institution, such as professionals in psychology and pedagogy, to accompany students in their classrooms. We have greater clarity about our methodology proposed by our institution, Colegio Amara Berri. We bring an example of our students with a Jordanian school.
Hola Pepe,
Hola Lulu,
¿qué vas a hacer?
hoy voy a comprar unas cosas de acá de la tienda.
Ok, ¿y qué tienes ahí en la mano?
La lista de lo que voy a comprar.
¿La escribiste tú?
Sí,
Ok. ¿Y cuánta plata tienes?
50.000.
50.000. ¿Y cuánto puedes gastar?
32.000.
Ok, bueno, vamos a hacer las compras.
Lo primero en mi lista son 2 naranjas.
2 naranjas, ok. Una leche. Esa es la leche.
Lo tercero son dos cajas de nuez. Los cuartos es una lata de aceite. El quinto es una pera. Y lo último es una botella de agua.
Ok. Muéstranos la plata, ¿dónde la tienes? ¿Cuánto dices que es?
2.000 pesos.
¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánto tienes ahí?
Ay, 5.000 pesos.
¿Cuánto?
50.000 pesos.
Ok, vamos a pagar.
Hola Pepe, ¿qué vas a comprar hoy?
Hoy voy a comprar dos naranjas. Una leche. Dos cajas de nueces. Una lata de aceite. Una pera. Y una botella de agua.
Serían 32.000 pesos. Tienes 18.000 pesos.
Gracias.
Bueno, Pepe, ¿para qué te sirvió este juego del mercado?
Para sumar y hacer práctica.
¿Te gustó?
Sí.
Bueno, Fede, ¿para qué crees que sirvió este juego del mercado?
Bueno, me sirvió para aprender a dar vueltas, que sé que es algo que voy a tener que hacer a lo largo de mi vida cotidiana, voy a tenerlo que hacer muchas veces.
The development of the activity, the following phases were taken into account, which are essential of the proper development of the model. First, the context and its elements. Second, the study and definition of the contents, objectives, essence of the activity, and monitoring task on each context. And third one, intervention program, monitoring and evaluation of students. Taking into account this system, we consider there are two weaknesses in it. First one, this method is quite criticized, since the axis is not the use of conventional books and notebooks, which generates distrust in the learning process in the children. On the second hand, we have a weakness in this method. It's only designed for primary education, leaving aside preschool and high school education, which causes a discontinuity in the learning process.